Welcome back, everyone. J Bone here for Smash This Podcast. We have a little more energy than we did last night because let me tell you, that pay-per-view emotionally wrecked me. I mean, I was exhausted. I had a headache. The headache is what killed me. And if I got a headache, I'm just done, folks. I'm just done. So my apologies for not sticking it out and doing the review last night, but we're here to talk about one of the best shows in my professional podcasting opinion. One of the best shows of the year. And I've heard a lot of people ask, well, what was better, Sacrifice or AEW? They were both very good shows, but they are very difficult to compare because Sacrifice was one thing. It had a lot of title changes. AEW was like literally over the top with everything. It was super long and had a little bit of everything. It was super violent at some points. So it's very hard to compare the two. I'll just say this, I enjoyed both. I really enjoyed both. They're both just very different. If they were both big, same arena shows with blood and pyro and everything, whatever. But, look, like I said, wrestling is subjective. It's all, to each their own. I enjoyed both for what they were. But last night's, in my opinion, was it was just too long. It killed me because I started in my time here watching it at 6:00. Had three matches, and that was just on the pre-show. So, yeah, that was nuts. So should we do a little news first? We'll do a little news first. I just read, and I would have more news, but I did not witness any of the media scrum from last night post pay-per-view. I literally turned everything off and crashed. In minutes, I was gone. I did read, and I didn't want to say anything about this, and some people were talking about it because it came from a certain source. Sean Ross crap. And I literally take anything that guy says with a grain of salt. So, Jake something came out on Twitter today and said he is an official free agent for, he's done with Impact Wrestling, unfortunately. And it's unfortunate for me because I feel like he had the best match ever in his run there over the last few years. Was it 2-3 years, whatever it's been? It sucks. It sucks. I don't know what's next for him, but I know wherever he's going to go, he's going to kill it. I could see him doing a lot of different things, honestly. A lot of different things. I could see him getting attached to the New Japan Strong brand. I could picture him becoming part of the new Ring of Honor thing. I think he would fit in perfectly there. I know that NXT is looking for big guys. Jake something is a big guy. Now, granted, they may not be looking for indie wrestlers, but I feel like Jake something I don't know how to describe it, but I feel like he definitely has it. He needs a little time to fine tune some stuff, I think, but he's got a damn good start on what he's been doing. So, but yeah, there's a number of places out there that he could help. There's a plethora of indies he can keep himself busy with. I know he's been a constant on AAW, which folks, if you have not seen the 20-minute match between him and Josh Alexander, please go out of your way to look that up. It was amazing. Unfortunately, it was a 20-minute draw, spoiler alert. But man, those two just kicked the snot out of each other. It was crazy. So, yeah. So, Courtney says, Jake something to NXT Champion at Christmas. So, all right. I don't have any other news. I mean, there's news coming out of AEW Revolution as far as signings and surprises and stuff. So we'll touch on that throughout the review. So as far as stuff outside of why I'm mainly here for, that's pretty much it. So AEW Revolution. No, before we have to pause here for a second. Whatever you're doing, if you're watching me or listening to me, make sure you smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. If you would like to tip one of your favorite podcasts, you can do so on Twitch, Cheer Bits. You can sub, you can gift subs. If you're on YouTube, you can hit that super sticker or super chat, and we'll discuss this as we go along. Much love, everyone. All right, so first off, last night's show was an absolute banger. No, other than it was really long, I have no complaints, and my predictions were just way off, because I was calling for new champs and all this kind of stuff. They had no new champs. 0 new champs. But that just means that for me it wasn't super predictable. I knew the action was going to be good. And one thing, because I fixed my earbuds here, one thing is usually with a show like this, you expect highs, not necessarily lows, but, the action goes up and down and usually does not stay at such a constant high. But this, oh my God, this stayed at such a level of high throughout a majority of it. That's also what made it difficult, because your body needs time to come down, from, like a bloodbath or a ladder match or whatever. And everyone did so good and put in so much action. I mean, there was a couple lower points, but it was up here most of the night. But let's start here. They start out a fun women's match. Not too much to say about it. Both women did pretty good. A couple little hiccup spots. Nothing tremendously bad. Legit Leyla Hirsch beats Kris Statlander here. And it was for those, and I said this last night, for those complaining about that there's not enough women's action in AEW, the brand of AEW lately, this pay-per-view had 3 women's matches. Now, granted, it was a very long event, but it still had 3 women's matches, so you can't complain about that. Then we had Tony Schiavone and what seemed like he was going to bring out Kenny Omega, which, you know, we're all waiting for his return patiently. And, okay. So I want to address this in the chat. Courtney and Aaron both asking me if I'm wearing a Roman Reigns t-shirt. I'm glad someone said this. So it's actually not a Roman Reigns t-shirt. It's a ringside. Here, I'll stand up real quick. It's a ringsidenews.com t-shirt. You can get it at Pro Wrestling Tees. I actually won this for my buddy Steve. So it's a mock off of a Roman Reigns t-shirt, which I didn't even realize it was because I don't pay that much attention to WWE merch lately. But yes, ringsidenews.com, which is where I get most of my exclusives and whatever, you know, stuff like that. So, all right, we continue. Don Callis comes out. It's like, oh, you were expecting someone else? And it just cuts this scathing promo on the card. And I'll be honest, I absolutely miss Don Callis.
Hold my scarf.
Yeah, he had the pink scarf on last night, I believe. So yeah, I'm always looking for an excuse to play some Don Callis bites, and well, I finally had some.
This is sick. This is sick. This whole place is going to hell in a handbasket.
Oh, we've got some. Oh, why is my chat not working? Oh, okay. Okay, I could see it on the taking care of that. All right. So I have to look at my tab because all of a sudden my StreamYard chat froze and I can only see part of it. Thank you for the tips, Eric and Courtney. Much love. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Where are we? So yeah, Don Callis. I miss him. I hope it's a sign that Kenny's coming back sooner rather than later. We're rolling into March now, and we'll have to wait and see. You know, the pay-per-view would have been great. I hear there's some big stuff coming up on this episode of Dynamite, so we'll have to wait and see. Maybe this next episode of Dynamite will just be absolutely explosive, and we'll get all the Hardys and all the Swerves and all the Regals and all the, you know, I don't know. All right. Next, we got QT Marcel versus Hook. This did not disappoint. This is probably the biggest competition that Hook has had. Hook was out there certainly longer than 10 seconds and really put on a nice match. QT Marcel did get some offense in, so we get to see actually how Hook responds defensively to some offense. So yeah, and Hook won, which was what everyone expected. Now, of course, he is going to have his first loss somewhere, but it is what it is for now. They're pushing him to the moon. It's a slow burn. You know, they're not throwing him on titles immediately. They did not throw him in the face of the Revolution ladder match. But let me tell you something. A year from now, at Revolution, when they have this again, he will absolutely be in the Face of the Revolution match. Mark my words. Speaking of Mark, what's up, Mark? Mark in the chat, how you doing today? Man, I don't know what's going on with my chat. It's like freezing up on me. Maybe if I go to something else here.
Jiminy Christmas.
Play something. No, it's still frozen at the bottom. Like whatever's at the bottom, I can't read it. It's crazy. It keeps moving up, but then I have to wait for the next one to push it up. So keep the chat going, folks. All right, we continue. Once in a while, StreamYard's a little wonky, but it's usually 99% of the time it's pretty smooth. Last match. Okay, so we talked about Hook winning. But this was a good match. This was like I said, this was the best match that Hook has had as far as it wasn't a squash match. You know, he got in a ton of offense, but QT did also get some offense into, and we saw how Hook responds to that. So that was fun. And dude, Hook is so calm, cool, and collected. I love his. I mean, I don't know if you call it a gimmick. It's not really a gimmick, but his calm demeanor, it's, no F's given completely. No F's given. Next, we got the House of Black. They gave this one a long time. It's actually one of the longest matches on the show. And as far as I could tell, I'd have to double check the times here. But Malakai Black, Buddy Matthews, Brody King versus the Death Triangle, Pac, Pentagon, and Erick Redbeard. Erick Redbeard takes a big ass driver at the end and actually takes the pin here. This is one of the few I got wrong, and I was like, oh man, I was really hoping these guys would get a win, but obviously the House of Black is really getting a push here. They're growing in numbers. Things are really starting to happen for them. Doesn't mean anything like, oh, Pentagon's plummeting or whatever. I'm not worried about him. He just got a little change in the gear, persona, whatever. I mean, he didn't really change that much. He's still Pentagon. He'll always be Pentagon to me, no matter how many times he changes his name to whatever. Great seeing Erick Redbeard out there. He got a hell of a pop, and that made me a tad bit emotional just thinking about the last time we saw his old tag partner out there. So, by the way, if you have not seen it, Jazzwares during the Fan Fest, was it Saturday, did a big figure reveal for stuff that's coming out 2022. And it'll be up for pre-order soon if it isn't already. They've got a special 2-pack. Brody Lee and -1 are going to be in a pack together, father and son. So, and there's a video on the YouTube about them giving this 2-pack to -1, and he was there, and his mom was there, and his brother was there. So, really cool. Nice tribute piece there. Main card now. If I didn't say, House of Black wins here. And it was great. I think, one of those things where everybody gets their shit in. This was almost a 20-minute match on the pre-show, so that was wild. But this event has been promoted thoroughly, so they didn't need a ton of time to talk about each match going into it. You had all the promotional specials, extended looks online. They put stuff all throughout the weekend on their socials. So plenty of stuff out there to get people hyped and have people order this. I'll say this, I paid my $50. And I know that's steep for some people. It's steep for me too, but I feel like I absolutely got my money's worth out of this. This was crazy. All right, let's get into the main card here. Chris Jericho versus Eddie Kingston. I almost said Eddie Edwards. It's the Eddie I think I'm most used to talking about. Told a good story here because the story is Eddie Kingston's never won the big one. He's lost to Mox. He's lost to this guy. He's lost to that guy. And just can't win the big one. He's won stuff on, Dark or Elevation or whatever. By the way, go check out the link in the description. Go get yourself some merch. So yeah, as good as Kingston is, he never won the big one, he's never had a title, and that was one of those things that gets in your head and stays in your head and can work against you. And that was one thing that Jericho really worked at to get into Kingston's head about this. Props to Jericho. Jericho looked great. I don't know if he stopped drinking. I don't know. I mean, I know he does the DDP yoga stuff. So I don't know what he did to prep for this, but he looked great. He looked like he slimmed down about 20 pounds at least. He had abs again. He looked good. He looked tremendous in this. Nice tan. But Eddie Kingston finally won here. So great to see. In fact, he was confused at the end. He's like, wait, I won? I won? It was very emotional. Great to see. But Chris Jericho would not shake his hand. So I feel like this may continue. It's hard to say. I don't know what else they would do past this. Maybe like a cage match or something. I don't know what they would do. We'll have to wait and see. But I feel like because he didn't shake his hand, it has to continue, right? We'll see. Next, we got the AEW Tag Team titles. Young Bucks, reDRagon, and Jurassic Express defending their tag titles. I personally was thinking about reDRagon winning this one because we've seen it from Young Bucks and Jurassic Express now defending. So I felt like it was a great time to, especially if they were going in a certain direction with Adam Cole possibly winning later and, reDRagon and Adam Cole would have the belts then. That's what I was feeling. It made sense to me. So I expected it. Nope. Jurassic Express actually defended successfully in an absolute banger of a tag match. No complaints here. Zach Bonifer, feel the bang. Just a wild tag match, action all over the place, and props to the fans look forward to the hot tag from Luchasaurus. He is undeniably one of the most athletic big men on the roster. But Jungle Boy, his bouncing off the ropes and stuff. Just absolutely mind-blowing. It's a mind-blowing experience watching him in the ring versus such veterans like reDRagon and the Young Bucks. He works so well. There's no, oh, you've got to like really take your time with this move and it looks clunky as hell. You got to do this for this. I always say young buck, you know? No, Jungle Boy is amazing to watch. Mark, you settle down in the chat. It says, my Nitro Girl, Kimberly feels the bang. No, probably not anymore. That's, in fact, if you didn't know, Diamond Dallas Page just recently got married again, or he got engaged. One of the two. I think it was he got married in Vegas or something. I don't know. Anyways, but Jurassic Express retains here. Good stuff. Face, and just when you're like, oh man, what a crazy match. And just when you think you're like, you don't have a time to breathe, this is what I'm talking about. Everything felt like you were at a fever pitch all night. You had the face of the Revolution ladder match. You had Ricky Starks, Keith Lee, Christian, Hobbs, Orange Cassidy, and Wardlow. My God. I don't know where to start with this one. I had a feeling that Keith Lee or possibly Ricky Starks was going to win this one, but I was hoping for Wardlow. And I got my wish. I really did. And I felt it was great timing because this slow burn story, that's one thing that AEW is good at in some circumstances, this slow burn of Wardlow, the build of Wardlow. And we saw it come to fruition last night in a few different cases. Number one, I'll get to that in a second, Aaron. The slow burn story of MJF always knocking him and telling him where he's, where his bread is buttered and all this stuff. Like, you work for me, and now winning this face of the Revolution ladder match and holding the literal brass ring, which I think I feel is a little corny, but it's still, honestly, it's no more than like grabbing the giant X in Impact Wrestling, which I don't know, just always for the last 20 years, always felt a little goofy to me, but it is what it is. It's, you can't do the briefcase and, the pad board with the piece of paper contract thing has been done ad nauseum. So, all right, change it up, throw some shapes or whatever up there. So, it is what it is. That's all like it's nothing that's going to detract me from loving this brand or anything. It's an actual brass ring. So, but yeah, so many ladder spots throughout this match. Christian did, and as far as a veteran presence in this match, which I think is important. You look to guys like him to help keep pace in a match like this, certain spots or whatever. Excuse me. But Wardlow did great. He won this match. There was a point where both Keith Lee and Hobbs went through tables off the stage later because of Wardlow. So that took them out of the match completely, pretty much. Orange Cassidy providing some much needed comedic moments in this. right at the beginning of the match. I believe it was Keith Lee and Wardlow on either side of a ladder lifting it up. Orange Cassidy in the middle. And they lifted it up, and then he was reaching up for the brass ring in the middle of the ring, and he, crotched himself right in the middle of the ladder. And it just, moments like that, it's like, oh my God. So, but everyone looked good. There was no one in this match that didn't look like they didn't fit. You had some big guy moments, big guys slugging it out, which was fun. It wasn't all just acrobatics, So congrats to Wardlow, and we'll get some stuff from him later. This night isn't done for him. He has a big moment coming up. Tony Schiavone out there, and folks, it's contract signing time. They introduce Swerve Strickland, Shane Swerve Strickland, the former Isaiah Scott title winner in NXT. He was a champ in ML. He was their head champ, their heavyweight champ in MLW, and he also did some absolutely ridiculous, amazing stuff in Lucha Underground. So I've been a fan of his for a long time. I'll admit I didn't pay attention to his stuff that he did in NXT, but I heard it was good. And it's time for him to really to shine on a brand. And I can't wait to see what he does here. Now, granted, it's a time where people are talking about the roster's bloated, but this is also the time of year when people are going to start dropping off. So 2022 is going to look way different than, say, 2019 and 2020 did for the company. So just hold on to your horses, and with this week is far from over. Wednesday is going to bring a whole new bunch of stuff too, probably. I'm hearing Jeff Hardy's set to debut. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yes, Aaron Jack, kill shot, Lucha Underground. There was something else that you said here. Oh, now he said, not gonna lie, it felt a bit weird not seeing Cody on the pay-per-view since he left AEW. Dude, I still don't know what's up. It's like, because if you look at the Fan Fest, they're coming out with all these new Cody figs. What? And obviously this is all stuff that's been in the works. But I'm hearing both ends of the spectrum. Like, oh yeah, Cody's gonna, re-debut for AEW soon, or he's gonna, take over Ring of Honor. I'm hearing both things, like, oh yeah, he's slotted in WrestleMania plans. Hours later, I'm hearing, nope, he's off the books for WrestleMania. You've got to take this stuff with a grain of salt, folks. You've got to take it with a grain of salt. Don't put any weight on, any big thoughts on anything that's out there right now. Just know that he will be back on wrestling television at some point in the future. Or not. Who knows? But I hear you. I miss him too. And it's, as much as he was booed on the brand towards the end there, he was still one of my favorites, because I felt like he was part of the, building blocks of this company. But anyways, it is what it is. So welcome Shane Swerve Strickland to AEW. And man, he looked pretty slick out there. I'm not going to lie. Oh, you know what? I did not put the new background in. Shame on me. There it is. I adjusted it this morning and I just forgot to slip it in there. Anyways, there we go. Welcome, Shane. There he is. And we'll get to this guy later. All right. All right, where are we at? Turn the page. Uh-oh, there is no. Oops. Okay, we already did. Sorry. The TBS title on the line. Jade Cargill defending against Tay Conti. Now, this entrance for Jade was really special. They had a guitarist out there. I didn't write down his full name, but he's known as Kingfish. Man, I definitely need to look up some more stuff from this guy because this guy played her out to the ring and it was great. It was really good. I loved it. Now, I'm not going to be crude as some people are and call this a bathroom match, but this was certainly a chance for the crowd to come down a little bit, you know, unless Jade is like one of your favorites and then you're, you know, you get all hype again. And I do appreciate what she's doing on the women's roster. She is absolutely improving. I felt like her match with Tay Conti was good. And Jade was victorious here. She is now 29-0. It's very interesting. You know, it's hard to say like how far this is going to go. Of course, some people, you know, jokingly compare this to the Goldberg streak. Well, you got to remember that Goldberg streak went a long ways. We're at 29. So we'll see. And there's honestly so many women on the roster. And she does defend against some indie talents here and there, which just, you know, gives her a chance to look even bolder and, you know, than the others. But yeah, not too much to say about this one. Mark says Jadeberg. Nice. Now, this is a point where my goosebumps had goosebumps on top of them. MJF had one of his classic, you know, big new robe entrances, showing off, you know, his glorious self, whatever. And then the lights come down. And I have to remember here, you heard the CM Punk music, which got everybody excited. And then a quick switch to the MJF music. And that just got people just riled up for this. They were so pissed because, you know, MJF just playing with the emotions of the crowd there. So then fans, of course, now waiting for the second time you're going to hear Cult of Personality, right? No. Punk went old school. Absolutely old school. If you don't know what he was wearing the same gear he wore, or same style. I'll say same style because this probably is not the same gear he's had since 2005. This is the same stuff he wore when he was leaving Ring of Honor to go to WWE. He wore this stuff in TNA. He wore this stuff in Ring of Honor. And he came out to the AFI song that he got played out to in 2005. And it's such an emotionally charging song. Like you're getting ready for the fight of your life. And oh man, just almost getting goosebumps again thinking about it. So he came out in that old school gear. He came out to his old AFI music from 2005, and it was such a moment. And MJF almost had this confused look on his face, like, what's going on? So Punk comes out, the crowd's going nuts. He's chanting the music lyrics to the crowd as he's like, standing on the ropes. Oh man, I was in such a high, almost brought me to tears, like seeing this again. Because when Punk came back, as much as I wanted to see him come out to Cult of Personality, I wanted to, at some point, hear this old music. And I finally got it in one of the most insane matches I've ever seen him in my entire life. Bloody mess, chain whipping, crazy violence. And just when you think Punk is done and MJF is going to get the upper hand here, because there's no DQ in this. You can do whatever. Wardlow comes down to the ring, rolling his eyes, looking all pimped out in his suit. Look, she's looking like $1,000,000 here. And he's looking at MJF, and he's reaching in his pocket, and he gets this kind of weird look, like, oh, there's nothing in that pocket. Goes to another pocket. There's nothing in that pocket. Goes to his pants pockets. There's nothing in this pocket. And he's checking all over, and then he's like, I guess I don't have it. At this point, CM Punk has had a chance enough to like recharge, knocks out MJF, and looks over at Wardlow a little, he's a little confused, like, what's going on? And all of a sudden, Wardlow reaches in his check and goes, oh, it's in this pocket. And holds it, kind of looks around, and sets it on the apron right in front of CM Punk. CM Punk crawls over, slow, takes the ring, puts it on his finger, knocks out MJF, and beats him. And, this was such a train wreck of a bloodbath match. Just, crazy. It was, so this is moment number 2 for Wardlow, where he completely makes himself free and clear of everything, as far as being associated with MJF. But I'm sure this is going to continue on Dynamite. I can't wait to see the fallout from this, because MJF is going to, lay into him something fierce. And then I know Wardlow's just going to have his way with him. Or MJF will bring in some new muscle. Who knows what's going to happen? But I can't wait to see the fallout from this nonetheless. Great dog collar match, though. It was everything I wanted. CM Punk finally teaches MJF some lessons. Or did he? We'll have to wait and see. AEW women's title. Now, I missed about half of this match. Had to step away, stretch at this point, go powder my nose, whatever you want to call it. Bathroom break. Not that I'm calling the women's match a bathroom break. Just I had to at this point. I had to. But for what I saw of this match, I really enjoyed it. I really felt this was going to be Thunder Rosa's time. They put a new title, a new AEW women's title. It basically looks like a shrunk down version of like the men's world title. So it looks similar but different, just a little smaller, a little more petite, I guess you could say. But great looking belt. I'm not sure why they did, but I'm sure Thunder Rosa is going to get another chance soon at this because there's a show coming up where, what did I hear? They said later on in the show that Leyla Hirsch was going to get a match with Thunder Rosa, and whoever wins that match can face Britt Baker in San Antonio, Texas, I think. I think it was. Excuse me. San Antonio, Texas. And so I have a feeling Thunder Rosa is going to end up. This is why, Mark, I'm explaining this to you right now. And I felt the same way. I was a little bummed out, but then I heard about what's coming later, and I'm like, oh, okay. This is going to be close to, or is, Thunder Rosa's hometown-ish, whatever, I guess, from where she's from or living at currently, whatever. So she's very popular in Texas because she actually has her own company, her own indie she runs, Mission something. Very popular in Texas. So she'll probably get the title in Texas on Dynamite in 2 weeks, which is St. Patty's Day Slam or whatever it's called. So, so there you go. There you go. If you were upset about Thunder Rosa losing last night, hopefully that'll cheer you up a little. So, I mean, I'm hoping to, it's time. It's time. But for what I saw this match, it was good. It was good. Britt Baker pulls it out. Of course, with a little help from her friends. I will say this, Rebel, once again, doing a great job in this match. She's certainly paying those dues. Now, another absolutely crazy ass. I can't even call this a wrestling match. This was a fight. Bryan Danielson versus Mox. This is probably the one that I was looking forward to the most, even more than Adam versus Adam later. The Battle of the Atoms. These two beat the ever-living shit out of each other. Just, oh my God. Both of them got bloody. And even when the match was done, Bryan Danielson was so pissed and wanted to keep fighting with Mox to the point that they had to call in security, call in people from the back to stop this because Mox literally squeaked this out. I blinked. I'm going to have to watch like the finish later today or when I get some time because I literally blinked and all of a sudden the match was done. And I was like, wait, what happened? And because he literally rolled over and it almost felt like it was a fast count. Like I said, I'm going to have to look at it again. But Mox, in the middle of like being submitted, he rolled over and pinned him. In the middle of them brawling, so like brawl part 2, after the match, security starts, somebody started coming down, and all of a sudden, William Regal, Lord Regal? I don't know. He's been called a lot of things. the lumberjack. I don't know. William Regal comes from like next to the stage through like that passage between the crowd and the ramp. So he kind of came out a weird spot. He didn't just run down the ramp or whatever. But he gets in the ring, breaks up the fight, slaps the shit out of Mox, and goes forehead to like nose to nose, forehead to forehead with them. And Bryan Danielson's chuckling, turns around and he's like, "Oh, chucklehead, hey, you know, what are you laughing at?" Slaps him and basically says to them, "I taught you both better than this. Now shake each other's damn hands right now." And they shake hands and then they all leave. So, ladies and gentlemen, William Regal is all elite, and I don't think we know exactly why he's there yet. I have to see the scrum. I don't know if they explained it or not. But Mark, he says, I hope they use Regal properly. He's such an asset. He is. I mean, just his years in the WWE, like love the WWE or hate it, he was there for 20 years. Over 20 years. That's nothing to sneeze at. He's had so much in-ring and out-of-the-ring knowledge and experience. He's also a damn good talent scout, from what I hear, which I know he did many years. So yes, I'm hoping Tony uses him properly. And I don't know how old William Regal is, but he's still. I mean, I thought he was going to rip off his jacket and start a match. I mean, he's damn, he looked fired up. So if William Regal is Mox and Danielson's new mentor / manager, God help us. They are going to wreck this company. And I mean that in a positive sense. I mean, they are going to flip this company on this head and take all the damn belts. Do not be surprised. I can't wait to see what happens. All right, where are we at here? But yeah, Mox wins. This brawl was just unbelievable. Tornado tag team match. Now, you think this one's gonna like maybe cool down a little bit, you know, before the main event. No, don't forget, it's a tornado tag. You can go anywhere, do anything. No DQ, no nothing. Oh my God. Sammy Guevara. Backwards. What did he do? Spanish fly off the pyro cabinet on the stage through some tables. Stuff used all over the place. Sting, who is 60-some years old, went through, I don't know how many tables, 3, 4, 5 tables. Unbelievable. I mean, that dude is just nuts. I hope he's getting paid really well because the guy's nuts. And he didn't have to do this, but he did. So I'm not judging Sting. I love Sting, but I was just like, damn, he did not have to do that. But we got it, so no complaints there. Just an absolute wild. And they even brought in Mark Quinn, so I don't know if he's like okay to wrestle now. If that's the sign that he's back now and Private Party is gonna be a tag team again, because he's been gone for a while. So I'm hoping they're back together. Butcher and Blade are even out there because they're associated with Matt Hardy. But Sammy Guevara, Sting, and Darby Allin got the win here. Just an absolute insane tag match. Just and main event. We're at the main event now. Crazy. Yeah, Aaron Jack, exactly. PCO and Sting done some crazy shit this weekend. Shout out to both of them. Yeah, exactly. We saw PCO do some crazy flips and dives off of stuff, off of the ropes, turnbuckles, whatever. Even a crash dive through the ropes earlier. So Sting was like, hold my beer, Unreal. Main event time, Adam versus Adam, the Battle of the Atoms. AEW World Title defended by Hangman Adam Page versus Adam Cole. reDRagon comes out at the end, gets chased away by Dark Order. No Young Bucks, I don't think. I don't think the Young Bucks were out there. So there was like a little bit of shenanigans, but there really was not a lot of shenanigans in this match. I was pleasantly surprised. So I see there's a tip here, but I can't. Super sticker from Bell's Boy. Thank you so much. Much love, brother. Thank you so much. Great match between these two. I was a little surprised that Cole didn't win because I felt like this was going to be the night where things really change. The face of the company, Cole wins, reDRagon wins. But we didn't get that. We didn't get any title changes tonight at all. Very opposite of how Sacrifice was. So both very, very intense shows, ton of action, no complaints other than AEW felt like it was at least an hour too long. It just 5 hours just killed me watching it. And it's like I said, it was so many highs. Like everyone brought 1,000%. So I'm not knocking that. But it was like there was very little chance for you to come down. You were constantly up here watching. So you almost had to skip a match or two to like come down, So, but Hangman Adam Page pulls it out, and like every time, I mean, he's been on such a journey. And every time you think his back is up against the wall and it might be his time to drop the title, he pulls it out. And he proves himself every time he's in the ring. He is such a strong performer. And I've been a little critical of his title run where it felt like there was something missing from it. I don't know what, but that's just because there's so much other big things happening. Like they said, they brought in Adam Cole, they brought in Punk, they brought in Bryan Danielson. They did all these things over the course of the last 6 months, give or take a little bit. So all of these big things were going on while he was world title. And so it deters, excuse me, it deters away from the shine of the world championship. So, but I don't think that's necessarily anyone's fault. They've certainly given him plenty of TV time, chance to do promos. I can't wait to see what's next for Adam Page. Because every time he squeaks one out and gets a win like this, it just makes me love him even more, It feels like, I don't know, if you watched BTE, something's changing in him, though. I don't know what. I don't know exactly what's happening. But he kind of kicked everyone out from the Dark Order. And it was weird because Reynolds was there and they were all checking on him and he shoved Reynolds away, which just it incited the brawl between the Dark Order and reDRagon. Excuse me. So it was a little weird, but it happened so fast. If you blinked, you missed it. So I don't know if Hangman's. I really don't know really what to say. I feel like we're gonna get some answers soon, but I feel like something's changing. So if you're not watching BTE, sometimes you get these little side stories that turned into stuff on television or, the specials. So, yeah, I'm seeing it in the chat. Some people thought that Cole was going to win too, or they wanted Cole to win. And I have absolutely no doubt that he is going to have his time in this company. But the story's got to be told. They're not just going to hand it to him. So that's one thing I'll give to AEW for. They're decent. They may not be the best, but they're decent at storytelling, I feel like. So overall, tremendous event. I really loved it. But by the time I was done with the watch along, the live reaction, I was tapped out. I was fried. Because I was at just such an emotional high throughout most of it. And I'm not going to blame anyone. That's my own fault for, reacting like that. So it is what it is. I dig the product, So, but yeah, so let me know, in the chat, if you're watching this watching a replay of this, let me know what were your highlights, your favorite moments, were your picks right or were they way off? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, check out the links in the description. Check out the socials. If you want to help support the show, get yourself some merch. There's plenty of new things in the shop with plenty of sales coming up. I'm not sure what's happening right now in the shop, but I know there's, either 15% or 20% sales off coming up very soon in the in the month of March, pardon me. So, so that's it for this. Come on back tonight for that other little podcast called Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans on YouTube and Twitch live. We'll be doing the throwback tonight. 103, I think. I have to double check. But nonetheless, that's later tonight. Probably about 9 p.m. my time, 10 p.m. Eastern time is my guess. We'll see. But looking forward to that. And so, yeah, we'll see you later tonight on TNI. Thanks for coming here. Thanks for hanging out. Much love and hope you have a tremendous week. I'll be back Wednesday night here to check out the fallout from Revolution. Much love, everyone. Take care. We'll see you later.